Good evening, this is Kuro. Got second round of Tier 7 Destroyer candidates. Going over the matchmaking for the match. Gneisenau, Nagato, Texas, Koenig. Atlanta's obviously a radar threat. Double Helena, Pensacola, Alba, Murmansk. Shiratsuyu and Kamikaze are the two Destroyer threats. Obviously, Atlanta and the two Destroyers are the primary threats, with these guys being concealment threats, torpedo threats, yada yada. The map is Harbor, and basically I'm going to execute. I actually really like this spawn position here for a destroyer. This is one of the few times right out of the gate I'll use a speed boost. And what I'm trying to do is I'm taking advantage of the quick torpedo reload on this DD, and honestly all mid and high tier German DDs. I'm going to push up towards this island and torp across here and see if I can't catch a DD napping in the cap. Sometimes I get lucky, sometimes I don't. Now, while we're waiting, I'm going to talk a little bit about Z39. That's obviously why everybody's here. They want to know what's going on with this ship. And Z39 is going to be an interesting candidate just based on the survivability end of it, in my opinion. It's an interesting dichotomy where it has pretty solid concealment, 6.1 kilometers surface concealment, and you still have tier 9, tier 10 levels of HP pool with survivability expert. Now it also brings up the potential of, potentially not running survivability expert, maybe for IFHE or something to that effect. I generally don't run IFHE on my 150s. I basically like to try to harass larger ships with just HE spam, fire spam, and if they turn broadside, just use AP. Now we are having kind of an issue with this match where the Podvoisky for some reason decided to follow me, and it's creating a lack of vision that you can see in the northern half of the map, and the team's upset about it. I think rightfully so. The issue is, though, not everybody speaks English. Not everybody even has chat enabled. So there's some things there. Really good juke on this Kamikaze. This was, textbook Japanese trade. His teammate, I think that was the Alba, got off a shot, and really solid trade. Got to hand it to this guy. He plays very well this game, and created some issues for me. Z39 isn't really a destroyer fighter. You can hit DDs hard with your guns, but you don't have a lot of DPM. It's kind of like the old Japanese destroyers where you have this really long reload, but you hit things really hard. So you try to use islands or use your smoke to where, it's little 1-2 shot affairs, where you just kind of chunk targets down, and over, the course of the battle, this is actually really a nasty trick I do here. You whittle those destroyers down to nothing using your HP pool against them. Letting these torpedoes run out here. I want to try to open this Helena up so he'll eat more torpedoes. He sees me, he turns out, he's turning to get his guns on target on me. And if you notice, I just give him my stern. I just kite away. I'm shooting with the back guns. I want this guy feeling comfortable. And these German torpedoes, they don't mess around. They've got good concealment. They're really fast for the tier, and for the tier, they've got great alpha too. I mean, once you get higher tier German DDs, the alpha starts to seem very so-so, but at tier 7, these torps, they hit pretty hard. Kamikazes here. So again, just trying to chunk this guy. Somehow, I think I hit a module torpedo tube or something. Another 0 damage pen. Ugh. Everybody missed. This is a really. It looks really funky, but it works. A lot of ships will look at you when you're angled, and they can't tell whether you're going forward or back. And in almost all cases, destroyers will be going forward when they're fighting, so they don't expect this sort of move. This is something that I would try in random. It's not really something that I would do in competitive unless I absolutely had to try to juke shots. But try to deny vision to you know, the support ships that are going to shoot you by angling either with your stern away from them or your bow at them, and then forward and reverse, and use, you know, your acceleration. I've got speed boost on. I am running the engine boost module on this for the faster acceleration. Use that to juke shots. Here, I see the shots coming in. Again, just slowing down. Going forward, let them miss. I'm going to go ahead and believe pop hydro here. I should pop hydro. There it is. Sorry, it's been a very distracting day with the dinosaurs. This is take 4 for this video. So this is the good part about the 150s. Just constant, you know, harassment. Got really good fire chance. Okay, Alpha. Gonna poke out of here and just try to update my situation where those cruisers are at. Koenig repaired one fire. Just gonna duck back in here and casually set him on fire again. Hi, Cat. Now, this whole time, I am staying angled to the likely destroyer threat to torpedoes. There's Speak of the Devil. Now, this is also one of the other interesting things. Well, Kamikaze takes a pot shot at me, and this is just smart play. No need to, you know, try to get in this sort of gunfight. I don't have a lot of support here, so I'm not really looking to have a stand-up fight until I can work down some of this support. Koenig's going to be eating torpedoes. Nice straight-lining battleship. Unfortunately, it's only 2, but he blew his repair earlier, so he's got a nice flood on him now. I see my Miyoko taking shots at him. He lights him on fire. That tells me he's dead, so I'm going to start pushing the Kamikaze. Get detected by the Kamikaze. I do pick up the kill. Now this is what I mean by this ship is not a... It's not a DD fighter. Unfortunately, my hydro's down. That would make this immensely easier. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. And I picked this game specifically for this instance, where you can get a feel for how this ship is so clumsy in knife fighting. This is where, you know, your Sims, your Mayhan, and things are just going to rip you apart. And that's your turret rotation, your slow DPM. You're going to watch this Kamikaze. This guy, he plays it smart. Kamikaze is actually pretty good for rotating its gun turrets. I'm anticipating he's going to have bailed out. He's actually going to bail out here, and going to slow this down. That's fast enough. Okay, so gonna start going to work on this guy. You can see his guns are rotating too. Oh no, he's already got his guns rotated. Apparently that's a bug. Now, I probably shouldn't have shot there because I am detected, he's not. So I've got to still close the distance. Now his torpedoes are up. I know they're up. So, gonna be slamming on the brakes here. Try to dodge these. Now this is the critical moment in time because this takes half of my DPM off this guy. There's my guns. I really want to come back, but I know this guy's got torpedoes loaded again, and this is what makes this fight so close, is this set of torps here. So this was a really good move by this Kamikaze. The misplay here is I should have waited for Hydro. I do have Hydro up, I'm just too busy to pop it right now. He's coming in, gonna try to torp me, and last minute just gonna deny that. Finally getting my stern guns back on target. Expert marksman is a must on this ship. You do have good alpha. There's... And now, just trying to out-tank. Casually repairing for 122 HP. That was pretty ugly, but I wanted to show you, you know, one of the weak points about this destroyer. And that was it. This destroyer, you can do okay if you can keep all of your guns on target, but in that situation, really, I should have just waited for this to be up, and I would have just, you know, hammered him. But it didn't work out that way. Now this is also a misplay. I should have turned pretty much immediately back around instead of sailing south. I was my thought was the Shiratsuyu was last seen here. Kind of lost track of this guy as the game went on, so I'm kind of was hoping to get an idea of where this guy is, if he blaps one of these guys or something like that. That's why I'm sailing down this way. But it looks like the party is all coming up here, so I'm gonna move that way and just try to be useful for the team, providing spotting on this Pensacola, spotting on this Helena, and now the Alba. Everything, I'm holding my torpedoes thinking that this Nagato might try to push this way, but you can see the Nagato turning out, so I just going ahead, I dumped torps on the Pensacola. Now, I'm just trying to manage my my distances here. I don't have a lot of HP, and I don't want things really pushing aggressively into me. This Helena's pushing hard south, but looks like he's turning to come to this island. And I'm gonna take just a pot shot here. I've loaded AP, and just gonna sling it out there. See what happens. Sometimes you can get citadels, sometimes not. The guns are a little derpy. Just two quick volleys. And then just one more before I drop off. Gonna switch back to HE. And I'm just gonna kite out of this smoke. It's not doing me any good here. This was just kind of a harassment thing. I paused just outside of that smoke specifically to make sure that I wasn't going to be spotted momentarily and give that guy something to shoot at. So just an extra measure of caution right there, just to be mindful of my concealment. And again, just spotting this guy, applying the pressure, making this guy uncomfortable. He wants to be able to shoot over islands at my teammates undetected, and I'm just not going to let him do it. I'm also looking, waiting to see, when this guy's distracted and when I can get an opening to try to do something. I see him shoot. Now, I'm shooting here because he's right near this island. I think he's going to accelerate thinking there's torpedoes. And when he does, he's going to go dark. I'm going to throw my torpedoes out just in case he doesn't. And he's going to stay there and try to kill me. I might clip him with torpedoes instead. He's rotating his guns, but he's heading around the headlands of the island. And I drop off. His one shot, again, just using engine boost to juke the shots. And I'm going to go ahead and clip him. And there's a fire. And he's going to burn out. So again, with this ship, you're really a torpedo boat and just an HE harasser. Constant fire damage on cruisers, battleships. You get broadsides, your AP can do some serious work on stuff as well. I would recommend, if you're going to take this ship into rank sprint, spend a little time in the training room and figure out what your AP can pen for pen damage, what you can citadel, and what you're just going to overpen. That's absolutely critical for you to have a firm grasp of understanding of how your guns are going to perform if you want to do well in this ship. So again, this is an interesting ship from the perspective of it's got really good torpedoes, really fast loading torpedoes, but the primary benefits of this ship: pretty good concealment. There's only 3 or 4 destroyers that outspot you. Probably the best HP pool out of all of them. Plus you get access to the tier 8 hydro, which adds a whole nother level of protection to this ship from torpedoes and spotting plays with hydro, stuff like that. With a 5-kilometer hydro, you run it with the module. Well, that's busted. Thanks, Wargaming. But it does a really good job at keeping you torpedo safe, but also pushing destroyers that are smoked up. One of the common issues is going to be the like Belfast and ships that are being smoked up with radar. These torpedoes basically put you right at the edge of the radar range. So, for example, I'm just gonna pause it right here because this game's about to end. For example, the first video that I did with the Jervis with only 7-kilometer torpedoes, you're actually inside U.S. cruiser and Belfast radar. So trying to torp smoke stuff like that can be a challenge with Jervis. So you got a little more little more wiggle room here with Z39, and you might be able to make that work for you. So again, this is another ship that I've got my eye on. I hope you guys enjoyed the game, and I will talk to you later. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below.